Hi everyone, I am Mandy Reinig. I'm the Study Away Director here at Virginia Wesleyan University, and welcome back to our Faculty Study Away course interview series. And I'm very excited to welcome Dr. Antje Schwennicke to our series. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm going to get right into it with our first question for you. What is the title of your course or courses, the location, and when did you first start taking students there?
Hi, Mandy. Thanks for choosing me to do an interview. I'm excited to tell students about my classes and my experience. So I teach two classes right now where I take students abroad or travel with them. One is my class to Germany, which is Poles 318, and I've taught it as an honors class too. Germany in a Changing World. So that one goes to Berlin for 2 weeks. And that one I taught for the first time in 2018, and then again as an honors course version in 2019 in the summer. And so I took students for 2 weeks to Berlin, Germany, which is where I'm from. So I'm always excited about that. And then the other one is the Model UN class, which is also political science class, post 347. And that I teach every spring semester since I started at Virginia Wesleyan, so since 2016. And I take students to New York City for 5 days for the Model United Nations Conference in New York City.
Sounds great. For either or both of those, what are some of the can't miss sites on these particular courses?
So for the Berlin class, I usually teach the class in the morning for about 2 hours in a classroom. So we rent a classroom space, and then I always take them to a site that is related to what we talked about in the morning. So the class is about German politics since the Second World War, and so an example of a great experience that the students love is when we talk about the Berlin airlift after the Second World War. I take them to the airport where that airlift took place. So we can look at the original plane that's still there, how they supplied an entire city through the air, the Allies did, for winter. So they can look at that. There's a bunker from the Second World War that we walk into, and they can be there, and it's very eerie, but there's nothing like experiencing this for yourself and to really see what it's like and kind of imagine yourself in the shoes of those people that were there so many years ago. So that's great. For that class, I also take students to what's left from the Berlin Wall. So we look at the monument outside that shows the wall, and you see all the houses surrounding it. So it allows them to get a better idea of what it would be like to live in a divided city. So I love doing that. For the Model UN class, one of the things that we always do with them is the closing ceremony of the conference is in the General Assembly of the UN. So you get to go into the UN building, which is, lots of security checks and long lines. But it's really fun because you get to sit there behind the desk where the UN people vote, the delegates vote, and you can just, if you look at any footage from all the historic speeches that have taken place in that General Assembly, you kind of feel it and you see it in that hall. So I love doing that.
Sounds very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about one or two memorable experiences from one of your past courses?
Sure. So one of the things we did with the last class in Berlin was I just signed up for a contemporary witness to come and talk to us about what it was like to live in former socialist Germany, in East Germany. And I didn't know what I was going to get. And I just thought, okay, even if it's the grandma talking about, her grocery shopping experience in a socialist country, it'd be interesting. But we got this amazing speaker who's a historian, German historian, who talked about his experience of growing up in East Germany and then actually trying to flee East Germany. And he was in prison, in a secret police prison for 10 months. And he talked about that experience and how he then was bought free by West Germany and has lived in West Germany since then. And then he liked us so much, our group of students, they asked good questions, that he offered to take us to a German secret police prison, a museum, a few days later. And so he gave us a free tour and showed us and talked about his experience. And that was just really, really memorable for the students. And it was amazing to just hear it from somebody who has lived through it. That always makes history so much more interesting.
And it's definitely something they'll never forget.
No, I agree. They had to write blog posts about it, and that's what they said. You know, this is something that will stay with me forever.
Very cool. And what will students learn by participating on your courses?
I think, I mean, you really don't need for I'll stick with the Berlin class, but Model UN2, you don't really need to know much about politics or political science before you go. I will teach you about, you know, the background and what happens during that time. It's more about kind of seeing how the city reflects the historical context and what's going on, and how, you know, Germany shaped, how Berlin reflects the history of Germany, and how Germany has reflected or has shaped the history or politics of Europe, basically. And you don't need much background for that. So they learn a lot about the content, but they also learn, a lot of students that come with me haven't been in Europe before. They might not even have been on a plane, you know, so they learn how to handle travel. A lot of them haven't been in a big city like that. And my courses are very much built on independence of the students. So they have class for 2 hours in the morning, and then I take them to historic sites in the afternoon. But for the rest of the day, they have free time to explore the city and to do what they want to do. They live in apartments, so they're completely independent. They can cook for themselves. They can go grocery shopping, all the things they need to do to survive in a city, or find good restaurants. And they all talk about it. Oh, did you go to this place? You know, or they run out of money and then they have to make themselves some soup for 2 weeks. I don't know. They figure it out. And so they learn a lot of essential independence and life skills too. And I really enjoy that. And they learn how to get by in a city where they usually don't speak the language. And they
Mhm.
figure it out. And everybody is better off after when they come back, because they believe they can do anything if they can do that.
Yes, that's definitely true. Some life skills are definitely learned.
Yes.
And so the last thing I have for you is actually a statement. Can you finish the following sentence? I lead study away courses because.
Because I care very much about what I teach, you know, political science, and I want my students to be as excited about that as I am. But I also care about the place where I'm from. So I care very much about sharing that with my students. And I think it's a very unique and amazing opportunity that I can do that at Virginia Wesleyan, that I can take them and show you, hopefully, if you're watching this, student, you know, to enjoy the country and the culture, and learn about Germany and the country from somebody who's lived there for a really long time and who knows it well. And it's always so satisfying to see the students and the transformation in students, and how much they appreciate a different country and learning about it from me. So that's why I do it, and I will keep doing it.
Well, we appreciate you continuing to lead these courses.
Thank you very
I hear
much.
great stories when the students come back, so it seems like a wonderful experience.
Yeah, there are lots of stories I hear when we come back that I don't hear about while we're there, but that's okay too.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Schwennicke, for sharing your experiences, and we will be putting your email at the bottom of this video. So if you are listening and are interested in learning more about the courses that Dr. Schwennicke teaches and takes students on, you can contact her. So thank you again for joining us, and stay tuned for more videos to come next time.